She is a special educator at Deepika School and also an ABT practitioner. She constantly challenges herself and equips herself in order to help her friends who are also dealing with similar issues. Dr. Abdul Kalam said that problems are common, but attitude makes the difference. This saying reminds me of Arpita ma'am. I'm sure we can all learn a lot from her and be inspired by her journey. So, we as a team want to thank you, Arpita ma'am, for being here to share your life journey. I would like to hand it over to you so that we can hear from you. Thank you very much. Over to you, Arpita ma'am.
Thank you, Sandha ma'am, and thank you, Team Mitra. I'm humbled and honored. Okay, so I will begin my talk with like every child needs a champion, an adult who will never give up on them. That is what my learning has been so far. I was barely 24 when I had Siddharth in my life. And actually, we both grew up together. I also was, like adjusting to new life and everything. And within a year of marriage, he was born. So I was adjusting to the new environment. And he was also there. And he was not typically normal in the sense that he used to cry often. With a drop of a needle, he used to get up. And that time it was not alarming at all because I didn't know what was happening until he was in class one. And when he was around 6 months old, I moved with my husband to his place of posting, and single-handedly I brought him up. And so, there was no right or wrong or whatever it is. I just brought him up the way I thought it was right. So by the time he came in standard one, he was in one of the reputed school in Kolkata. That time, a new branch of Delhi Public School had reopened there. So they had taken all the children just like that. But within 3-4 months, they called me. They told there's something wrong with him. We want you to assess him. So that was my first step to discovering that something is wrong with him. So that is how that first diagnosis I still remember was called PDD, that is pervasive developmental disorder. I had never seen, I had never heard, I didn't have an idea what it was. The whole family was kind of shaken except me because, I somehow I didn't get, like it was anything, one of those normal things. Okay, he has it, so what? That kind of attitude I had from day one. I never said why me. The amount of why me I say sometimes now, that was not there that time at all, that why me. I started reading about autism. I ordered few books. I started reading about it. I started taking him for therapies. I met many more mothers who were sailing in the same boat. And one more very important thing I want to share is people say, it's a very famous saying, morning shows the day. But here I will contradict in a way with my life with him. When he was a toddler, till about he was a teenager, he was an extremely introvert child. We had to literally pull him out of the room when the guests used to come, to at least say a hello to them. He refused, he completely refused. By the time he was a teenager, I don't know how it happened, maybe because of the counselings or because of telling him again and again. Now we have to stop him when people come. There's not a single person in our neighborhood who doesn't know him. It is like self-introduction he will go and do, and he will go and talk and give all the details. And over-friendly child he is. Like, he doesn't know now where to draw the line. But when I look back, say around 14 years back, he was just the opposite. We had to drag him out. His speech was so limited. So we must not lose hope because we don't know when they will open up. There was no very limited speech, need-based speech, and no interaction. He used to always have his head bent down like this. But look at him now. He's such a confident man that sometimes I look at him and I think I lack confidence. The amount of confidence he has, I wish I had. Life is nothing without risks. And that's what I did. I took a very big risk, a very big chance to moving to Bangalore. It was in the year 2014, one of my friend told about NIMHANS and a therapy called cognitive retraining therapy, CRT. They don't give any medicine there. It is primarily done to patients who had head injury. Like, you had a memory, you had head injury, and then they retrain the memory to get your memory back. So there was a doctor called Dr. Keshav. He told, I want to take it as a challenge. I am not sure what will happen, but I want to do cognitive retraining therapy for your son. I agreed. I came in the month of May in the year 2000 during the summer vacation. I didn't know anybody. I didn't know anything at all. I just came to Bangalore. I landed in Nimhans. I didn't know what next. Then I was guided, and remember, I was from a very protected family, a nuclear family. My father, mother, my sister, and me. Again, I was married to a family where I had all my in-laws. I have never stepped out of my house alone. I had no idea what the world is. But here I was in Bangalore, in Nimhans Hospital. I didn't know anything at all, but I had the confidence with me. I have to do something for my son. I don't know what. And there I landed in the Nimhans guest house. There's a guest house by this people. What is it? I forgot the name of the institution. There are two guest houses there. One is by Jindal, and one is by one more guest house is there. I landed up there. There was nothing. It was just a room and a kitchen. I didn't have any vessels. I didn't have gas. I didn't have induction. Like, I literally sat and cried that I don't know what to do. What next? But somehow you say that God is there. If you are truthful, if your way is right, there will be somebody who will help you. I don't know. There are no such wonderful people. There were people who helped me. Like angel, they came and helped me in my life. And slowly I settled there, and Siddharth's cognitive retraining therapy started. I give you the details what all they had done. There's no medication involved in that. They trained him with different methods. For a small example, I will give you, like grain sorting. Grain sorting is a very normal thing we do in our house also. I'm just giving you an example of one activity. There were numerous others, a 45-minute session each. Simple grain sorting, they used to mix 3 dals together, and they used to ask him to sort the grain. Once he was okay with that, the next step was sort the grain and keep saying something. Like, he had to say 10 words with A. Okay, he's sorting. His hand has to move and his mind also has to think. So that coordination between that's and mouth, mind, which they worked upon. And it really worked wonder in the sense when 6 months, after I think 3 months, after 3 months when they took his IQ test, I came to Bangalore with an IQ of 70 he had. When they took the next IQ test, it was 75. So Dr. Keshav told me, ma'am, now you have to take a call whether you want to continue the treatment, therapy, or you want to go back to work. This is your call now. I cannot force a patient to stay back who doesn't belong to this place. That time I took a call, no, this place means something to me. My son has shown such a tremendous improvement. I cannot take a chance. I stood against my family at that moment. Now they are with me, that I want my son's betterment. Nothing else matters to me at this point of time. I took a stand. I stayed in Nimhans for 1 whole year in that one room and one kitchen. And his therapy went on continuously for a year, more than a year. It was just a 45-minute session. But that 45 minutes drained him out so much mentally that it's difficult to put in words. And then came another turning point. Dr. Keshav told, why are you wasting your time sitting in the hospital room the entire day after 45 minutes? Why don't you think of something for him? I was like clueless what to do. He had done his education up to class 7. And after that, we came to Nimhans. And after that, there was a long gap and he didn't know what to do. He said, why don't you try for NIOS? I will give you a name of a place where they do NIOS training. I was staying in Nimhans, and this institute was near Ashoka Pillar. That time I didn't know anything, any bus, anything. We used to walk from Nimhans to Ashoka Pillar every day, and he used to have his classes started. I registered him for NIOS, and he started his class 10 NIOS. Next came another, this one turning point. I had a very good friend, and she told me that, what do you do the entire day? I said, entire day I take him to Nimhans for his therapy. I sit there. Then I take him for his NIOS coaching. And then I sit there and I come back and cook. He said, you don't have anything else in your life to do? That is all you want? I said, no, what can I do? I have a special child. What else can I do? He said, do something for yourself. Why don't you do something for yourself? Why do you want to 24 by 7 be like a shadow to your son? That was another turning point of my life. I went to that 10 IS Institute and I asked, there was Dr. Akhila. I told Dr. Akhila, I want to do something. Tell me what. Should I do an autism course? That time she gave me a very sane advice. See, you are already handling an autism child 24 by 7. I don't want you to do an autism course. Do some other course in special education only. That is again when I started my SLD, that is specific learning disorder course from KPMRC. That was the second turning point of my life. Now came the third challenge. Every Saturday I had classes from 10 o'clock to 4 o'clock in the evening. And what do I do with Siddharth now? Because he has never stayed alone. It's a new city. I don't know anybody. I don't have relatives. I don't have friends. I had friends who were helping me, but they couldn't leave their job and come and sit with me. So that same friend came for my help and she said, I will look after Siddharth over the phone as long as you are in your course, but you will take up the course. So that is how his journey of being independent started. I used to leave home 9 o'clock in the morning, cook everything, keep in the microwave. By the time I came back home, it was almost 5 o'clock in the evening. Every Saturday, Siddharth started staying alone in the house. And that friend of mine took the charge. Every 1 hour, half an hour, 45 minutes, whenever she had time, she used to call him and ask him, how is he, what is he doing? And whenever I had my breaks, I used to call him. That is the first step towards independence which started. Next came, he is very good in cycling and he cycles also very well. I was told that why does he walk and go to the places, like he started going for NIMHANS for his cognitive retraining therapy by that time on his own. I started leaving him. He used to walk and go and come back. Then I started leaving him to Ashoka Pillar to walk and go and come back. I started, because my friends gave me the confidence that he can manage, he can talk, he's verbal, what is your problem? I said, okay. I took another chance. And then we bought a cycle for him then. Next step was we bought a cycle for him. And he started cycling to NIMHANS. He started cycling on his own to the study center and coming back. Believe me, when he started cycling, my heart used to be in my mouth. But I had to take that chance. Otherwise, neither he will be independent nor I can do anything for myself. He would have never grown what he is today if I had not left him, if I had not started the way I had started. Then came Deepika School in my life. After my course came the Deepika School. Deepika School, another turning point. I got my first job there. I was completely a rudderless and aimless person when I was a young girl. I never wanted to do a job or anything. I was very happy having a happy family, raising a child, being with my husband, decorating the house. That was my aim. This child gave me a rudder. He became the rudder of my ship. That he gave me the direction, that this is your direction. Why don't you do this? And I started exploring myself. I started pushing myself, and Deepika School happened. I never wanted to do a full-time job because not because of Siddharth. I never had that inclination. I wanted to do something part-time and be in my house. I was never a very person with a lot of ambition and aim and all those things. But everything changed because of Bangalore. Everything changed because the way my son showed me the way. And then I got a job in Deepika. He started studying in Deepika. Strength started moving. And then there were lots of ups and downs in the way that there were behavior issues. On and off. There used to be so many behavior issues. And I tackled everything. I took help from doctors. I took help from counselors. There was like no looking back after that. And by the time he finished his 10th again, I came to a conclusion that no more academics, because I understood that it is just a satisfaction of the parents. Okay, my son is 10th pass. He doesn't understand that the importance of exam. He doesn't understand 96 is more good marks or 26 is good marks. For him, 96 and 26 were same. So with that time, I realized that no, this is just making my ego, myself happy, my family in-laws happy that he's done his 10th, he's done his 12th. That is when I took the second decision. I told no more academics for him. I have to do something vocational. I have to find a vocational training for him, because I need to enhance his skill so that if tomorrow I'm not there, he should be able to sustain himself. Money is not a problem. Okay, God willing, but then he should be able to manage the money. He should be able to stay on his own. So that is when the vocational training came over. Again in Deepika, he started his vocational training. it went on and on. And I just forgot to mention a very important part in Kolkata. I will just little rewind and go back that when he was in the DPS and when they told me your son has a problem, I was called every now and then with the problem. He's not doing this, he's not doing that, he's like this, he's like that. And then I went and told to the principal once that either you handle it or you ask me to come to school and handle. Like this, how will I mean, manage the child? Every day there's a complaint that he's not doing, he's not writing, he's not doing this. So that is one. In newspaper that year, there was a boy called Mohit. He has cerebral palsy. He is spastic also. He had passed his class 10th. I saw the newspaper and I thought, if this boy can pass class 10th, why not my son? I will make sure my son does class 10. I looked up to the newspaper. I went to the editor section. I took their number. I called Mohit's mother. I said, how did you make this miracle happen? I need help. She told me, okay, you go to St. Joseph's College. There's a principal's name is Mr. McNamara. I will urge you to meet him right now. Next day, I went to Mr. McNamara and I told, this is what is happening. He's in class 1. By that time, he was already in class 3. These are the issues I'm facing, what to do. He just looked at me and he told, bring your son tomorrow. I brought Siddharth next day. And he told, the admission procedures are this, please get him admitted. I almost fell from my chair that, but he has a lot of issues. Ma'am, does he have behavior problem? Is he rude to others? I said, no. Then I have no problem. A child can be good in studies, a child can be bad in studies. That is immaterial. What is important is the child doesn't have a behavior issue. That was St. Joseph's Kolkata I'm talking about. That is how his entry in St. Joseph's Kolkata happened. And there I got a lot of confidence because they told me, take each day as it comes. From there, I learned a life mantra, take each day as it comes. Don't overplan, don't overthink. And they used to make his own question paper. They told me that, why don't you make his question paper? Let him sit with his friends and write the question paper, which you are making for him. Because at the end of the day, confidence matters. Marks don't matter. Nothing matters. Your confidence matters. Nobody goes and looks at your mark sheet. So if he sits with 50 other children and writes his exam and he feels he's also part of them, I think that makes a difference. That really, really made a difference. I used to make his own question paper and I used to give it to the class teacher. He used to sit with 50 other boys and he used to write his exam. That is how his confidence started growing up. But nothing comes just with positivity. Another thing which I realized down the years was inclusion is good. Yes, I do support inclusion, but in the long run, inclusion is not good because we don't realize, our children do realize that we are different from others. Each day, the realization is inside them. I am not like them. When a question is asked in the class, when the 49 or the 48 hand goes up, their hand cannot go up because they don't know what is the answer. That is putting their confidence down slowly. That is the beginning of behavior issues because they want to fit in the so-called normal world. They are not able to fit. So they will do many things, make themselves a clown, do whatever others instigate him to do just to fit into the normal world. I realized it years later when I moved to Bangalore, all this behavior issue which had started, it was because of inclusion. No, the teachers used to support him 100%. There is no fault from the teachers. They tried their best to accommodate him. But they are also children who are in class 4 and 5, very, very young children. You can't expect from them that they'll understand everything and treat him normal. They could not. So they used to tease him. They used to, do something and put all the blame on him and he was scolded. So like that, his confidence started going down and the behavior issue. Okay, then now again, I'll come back to Bangalore and the post class 10. Post class 10, I was handling him quite well. And then in the last year, in the month of July till November, there was a very bad phase in our life in the sense that the Deepika school moved to a new center. And in this new center, he had a lot of adjustment problem, a lot of anxiety issues. We don't realize, but our children do have a lot of anxiety when they are put to a new environment and they don't get the adequate support because Again, nobody to be blamed. Nobody understands them the way we do. Even I didn't understand him at that point, that why the behavior issues was so extreme. He was extremely aggressive at one point of time where I could not handle him. There, I didn't know what to do. I went to Dr. Ashok, that is in St. John's. I took help from him. And I can tell you, he's such a positive and nice man. The moment he saw me, he's told that, ma'am, all these years you have beautifully handled your son. Now comes a time where you need help. We are there to help you. From tomorrow to today, you will not look back, and anything, any problem, I'm just a call away. And then from the month of July to November, he was under him. And now he's come to such a stage, such a beautiful stage, where he's able to say, I am not liking it. Anxiety is coming. Please don't do this to me. Earlier, when he was anxious, he will throw something, he will pull my hair, he has broken my specs, what not he has done, because he doesn't have word to express what he is going through. Yes, he can talk, but he doesn't have words to express himself. Today, he has reached a stage where he's saying, Amma, please don't say that, or please don't do that. I am getting anxious. I will do something. I said, what will you do if you get anxious? I will lose control. Then I will break something. Then I will not like it. Please don't do it. So my request to each and every parent is, have patience. A day will come when they will understand what you are trying to tell them. They do understand now also, but only the expression part takes a very, very, very long time. And the more normal you want them to be, the more normal you have to make them behave. I mean, show them the normal world, behave with them normally, take them out, make them mingle with others. Don't think what others will think. That is not your thinking. Let others think, let others perceive. That is none of my concern. Others can perceive my child any way they want, but I know what my child is. And I'm very proud of my child today. Yes, he has many awkward things which he does. He has many things when we go out to malls and movies and all he will do, but that's okay with me. As a mother, if I accept my child wholeheartedly, it doesn't matter what others tell. It is nothing. And one more which I would like to say is, just a second.
Okay.
So this is kind of in a nutshell, my journey. My journey would have been incomplete without, Bangalore, the way Bangalore accepted me with open arms, Nimhans, Deepika School, a few very good friends I have, like godsend kind of people. Again, I'm telling you that without, if you are truthful, if you are on a right path, there will be people in your life, God will plant in such a way that you will not realize that how they came. Really good friends I bought who gave me the right advice at the right time. And of course, now Mitra for Life. In this pandemic time, how much they have helped us to, again, I'm saying that Siddharth love socializing. How bad it was from March to March, April, till the first week of May, I will say. 1.5 months, it took him to understand, I'm sure to every child it has happened, that why the world has become like this, why I can't go to the mall, why I can't go to the movies, why I can't resume my normal life. So it was, that adjusting period was really, really bad. But that time only that Mitra for Life, they started their live interactions and, teenage meets and all. It really helped him, it was an outlet for him, because an outgoing, spontaneous child is locked in the house the entire day with his mother. It is not easy. It's very, very frustrating. But now he has come in terms, like all our children, I'm sure they all have come in terms with the fact that, it is going to be for some time. But I would really, my journey would have been incomplete without St. Joseph's, without Nimhans, without Deepika, now without Mitra. It would have been really, really not, like they have all been like God sent to me, a cushion to me. But again, you have to take the first step. The risk has to be taken. Without risk, there is no way out. You have to go the one step ahead. You have to be very proactive. You have to plan. I'm not saying plan his entire life, but at least think what you want to do for your child. And the moment we understand that my child can't read, write, comprehend, please, we should just leave it. We should keep it to functional maths, functional English, what will be required in his daily life. If tomorrow I'm not there, life is so unpredictable. Tomorrow I might not be there. How will he handle his life? Nobody will cushion him the way I will. Then what? So just we have to think that way, that make them ready as soon as we can, because life, again, I'm saying, is so unpredictable. Everybody knows we don't know what is in store tomorrow. Who will take care of them the way we are? So why depend on somebody? Why not make them so capable that they can take care of themselves? Today, I can proudly say that if I go overnight, I mean, one night out of the station, he can manage himself. Yes, I will be anxious. Yes, my heart will be in my mouth, but I know he can manage himself. They have been meeting in Deepika. There have been school visits when I am busy from morning 7 to evening 7. He has managed himself. Phone is with him, and I keep calling him. Yes, he will not be doing anything productive. That's okay, but he can manage. He will, time to time, he will heat his food. He will watch something. He'll go out and talk to somebody. He'll cycle and come back. But again, that has not happened in just one day. It's been years and years of training him and taking the risk. And whenever I took the first risk, I looked up and told God, God, I'm leaving him on you today. You have given me a challenge. I am accepting the challenge, but I'm leaving on you. Do what you feel is right. And I just left him. I presently stay in JP Nagar first phase. He's to cycle from JP Nagar first phase to Chamaraj phase to Deepika school. And I used to go in an auto. As a mother, I used to feel very guilty that I am relaxing and going, but I am putting my son through this. But back of my mind, it was there. It is for his betterment. It is for him. I have to do. I don't have a choice. I have to make him ready. So, and now he's so confident on the road, be his road sense, be his awareness about things. He's very much aware. Everything, I mean, he knows the road better than what I know. I get confused, but he doesn't get confused because he travels on his own. So the more we leave, the more we are less around them, the more they will be confident. We need to take care of our needs. The more confident we are as mothers, they look up to us and they become the same. The more we are doing something for ourselves to keep ourselves happy, we are happy. Looking at us, they will be happy. So please don't give up on whatever passion you have, whatever liking you have. If you have to leave them for a few hours and go, please go ahead. Believe me, they grow at that point. They become more confident at that point that my father is not there. Okay, what do? I will give one more example. I had an exam in KPMRC when I was doing my LD course, and he had to go for a class in Spastic Society that is in Indiranagar. That time I was staying in Baisandra and he had to go to Indiranagar. I was completely at loss because that they will not take the exam again and his classes will not also happen again. I just took a risk. I booked a cab for him from my home to Indiranagar. He went, he paid. I had given him the money. While coming back, I again booked a cab from Indiranagar to my home. I was not at home. I was in my center studying. I again booked a cab and he came home. He didn't have the money. I think 50 rupees was less. Somehow the money became, whatever it was showing, or they cheated him or whatever, I don't know. 50 rupees was less. That is when he applied himself. If I was there, he would not have applied himself. He went to the landlord's house and told, I have come from Indiranagar, 50 rupees they are asking, I don't have, can you please give me? And he gave, and they gave him, and he paid the taxi driver. That is like my wow moment. If I had not given him this chance, he would not have done this. We have to leave them. Otherwise, they stop thinking on their own. They will be so dependent on us that they will not allow, we don't allow them to think. We don't allow them to grow. So much we are unto them. I'm not saying that you be so outgoing, you go with your friends, enjoy life and leave your son and daughter. No. But we need to pursue what we like. The more they see us pursuing what we like, the more they will be like us. And with that note, I will, end my talk. And once again, thanks to Bangalore and thanks to the wonderful people I have met, wonderful friends I have met. Without that, and still we have a long, long, long way to go and need everybody's blessings. Otherwise, I don't know. I am not leaving Bangalore until I make something out of my son. That is my challenge to myself. That I have told my people back home, I am not coming back until I get him a job. That is my aim in life, to get him a job. Not a high profile. See, I'm not expecting a high profile job from him. I want a job from him which keeps him busy from morning 9 to evening 5 or evening 6. And when he comes back home, he's dead tired. He will have his dinner and sleep. A pattern, a routine is made. I go to office, I come back home, I cook my dinner and I sleep. Saturday, Sunday, I love traveling. I love going to mall. I'll go, I'll sit or watch a movie and I'll come back. Because they will not have friends in the long run. We have to set a pattern, a life for them in such a way that they get used to that pattern. So even if we are not there, that missing should not be there. Oh, my mother is not there, my father is not there. We will not be there. So I'm trying to build a life for him where he will be so patterned in his life that even if I'm not there tomorrow, he will not miss me. That much confidence, that is my aim, and I need blessings from each one of you that one day I can see him working. And presently he's going to Nitya Sadhana. Recently he has joined. That's a skill-based training center, and they do placements also. So once he has joined them and they send them worksheets and all every day. The entire day is busy with that. And once the center reopens, he will go and join them. So that is what I'm doing.
Wow, thank you very much. I really don't know what to say. All I can say is only this. I said problems are common, but attitude makes the difference. Dr. Abdul Kalam saying. I said you remind me of that, but now I want to make changes to that. You have proved that. It's not that you remind me of that, you have proved it. And your confidence level and the way you have brought up Siddharth and your attitude towards life, and that has taken him to a different level, and therefore you are able to share your experience with others, and I'm sure many others are motivated to continue the way you are doing. Hats off to you. Thank you very much.
Thank you so
So
much.
Yeah, thank you so much, Arpita. I don't know. I didn't want you to stop because it was so motivating. Trust me. Even I have a 4.5-year-old daughter, and there are so many takeaways, even personally for me. Your journey and the hardship, the challenges, how you overcame that. I mean, you're so. I know it must have been very difficult, but I think now when you look back, uh,
Yes.
so much good came out of it. In your
True.
personal journey, the learning has been tremendous. There's been a lot of determination, and and how you instill that confidence in Siddharth. I think most important was to how you got him to be independent, right? Um, and truly, it was. I think for all the parents here, this was really motivating. Anybody else has any? I mean,
yes, I would
you can
definitely
have your
agree with
video
that.
on.
Yeah. Um, Hi, this is Rekha, Ravi Shankar's mother. Arpita will know us well.
Yeah,
Yes,
I
yes,
just
yes.
want to
I know I'm
add
kind
one
of
more
not
thing.
so
The
yeah,
main the
yeah.
okay.
Yes, go ahead, Rekha.
Go on. Yeah, Arpita was saying something, so I thought I'll go next to her. Go ahead, Arpita.
No, no, I'm not saying it. I said I know you. You told, na, you know. Yes.
Oh, yes. Actually, I've been on mute and this one also because Ravi Shankar is next to me.
I can understand.
Um, yeah, I could reflect a lot of points when you were talking. As you know him very well, it's a similar challenges. It's long way to go for us all. But the way you have taken up Nook to the corner, to the pillar, everywhere. That's something a kudos to you. But whenever I hear the Kishore Kumar song, whole of my life I will not forget that. So
Okay.
that is the impact he has made on us. Awesome. Once again. Yes, I'll give you some. The only thing is, last in the lockdown period, the one achievement with Ravi Shankar has been now he uses iPad, so he scrolls to the videos and all. So that's the reason I said because now he finds uneasy to search by typing what he wants. So that's why I asked that question: how did you make him from no reading and writing completely to the extent of 10th standard that he could? Because I'm
No,
also not looking at him to go academics, but it's something to help himself, because he never uses the electronic gadgets at all, including TV till lockdown. This COVID came. But now he uses iPad, he scrolls down, he sees the videos that he wants to see. Most of them are learning and a fun for him. But that's when I thought, like, I should again think about, to make him understand the letters that he can type a bit. Other things is going on. I know every parent will have a different, unique challenges, but it was very inspiring to hear to you.
Thank you so much, Rekha. Thank you. Why don't you try the voice? That Google Voice, since he can't type and all. Why don't you try the Google Voice? Because when I take online classes for my learning disability children, most of them can't type. So what we do, we exchange voice messages. We exchange.
That's a good tip.
If I type class at 9:30, they find it difficult. So I just send a Google message class at 9:30. So they hear it and they immediately come.
Okay. Superb. Actually, being in IT, that this did not strike me at all, Arpita.
Use the Google
I've
Voice.
been putting. Yeah, right. That's a good tip. Awesome. Thank you.
Welcome.
Anybody else have any question? Somebody wants to know, where is Nitya Sadhana?
Yeah, it's in Vijayanagar. Yeah, it's in Vijayanagar.
Okay. I think Mrs. Veena has a question.
Any hats off to you. A very
Thank
good,
you.
you have done your best. Results have been very well. Yeah. I wanted to know what Dr. Ashok.
Your voice is not very clear, Veena.
What was the treatment done to Siddharth by Dr. Ashok?
He did a lot of counseling for him, lot of counseling. He made him stay in the hospital for a week. And he said, then today you come and tell me something, I see him. That is not the right diagnosis. I want you to come and stay for a week in the hospital. My junior doctors, and we have CCTV cameras. We will observe him 24/7. Then only I can give you some conclusion that what can be done for him. So in fact, for all his patients, whoever come with a bigger problem, he never gives a solution in a day. He says, I need an admission of minimum 2 to 3 days to observe them through and through. Then only I can tell something. So we went and I took admission with him and we stayed for a week. And then he told me whatever, and it's working beautifully. I mean, I can give a lot of tips what he has given, and it is really, really working. Later, if somebody asks, I can tell you that cognitive retraining therapy, what all they did, and Dr. Ashok, and there's a behavior chart which I maintain for him, which really works. I mean, especially for autism, it will work wonders. You know, at the end of the day, when you have to mark what he has done and what not, I mean, he's very conscious, and I mean, he'll remember what was there in the chart, and he'll try to control himself.
Okay, this is at age. At what age was the treatment by Dr. Ashok?
Last year. Thank you very much.
I would like to interact with you sometime. And
Sure. Anytime in the morning I have classes, anytime post lunch.
Okay, thank you.
Right.
Yeah. So I think anyway,
Arpita ma'am,
yes,
I have a question. You mentioned ABT practitioner.
Yes.
So
Yes.
I just want you to let us know what it means and how it is done.
Okay, ABT is arts-based therapy. You know, we like cognitively or in the motor domain, in fine motor domain, we train the child, or we see the plus and the minus of a child through different art forms. Different art forms are used. Like you can say, your visual art, your drumming, your drama, voice, everything comes in that. There are different forms of art in which we train the special children. Not train, I will say, it's a feel-good factor for them. Like art, thing which calms and relaxes us instantly. So ABT also uses different art forms, and it is like therapeutic. It's a goal-based. Like you do 10 sessions with a child, and then you put a goal. Okay, this child needs narrative capabilities more. So more on narration you do. You do sessions more on narration. Okay, this child needs more of motor movement, so we do more on motor domain. So like that, it is like a therapy, goal-based therapy, and using different art forms, not only visual art, many other form of art. It's a, I think, 9 months course. It was till last year. This year will make it a year course. So it's a very, very, very again an intense course, and it came in a time when I was going through complete mess. Like November was a really, really bad time for both of us, and that at that point I was. But again, I feel that was a blessing because that course distracted me from what was happening. I was going through a lot of stress and anxiety too. But whenever I had to go outstation for whenever I had to prepare my worksheets and all, it was like kind of deviating me from the problem. So, and I am a trained Bharatanatyam dancer also, and till date I'm pursuing that. Thanks to one of my very close friends, she is a dance teacher, and till date I'm pursuing that. So that is all. These things keep me, motivated and looking forward to things. Not just sitting with him all the time and looking at me. He is also doing all the things.
That is so nice. So this,
in which age we can train this art?
yeah. Please go ahead. Please
No,
go
no,
ahead.
it is not for the child. It is for us. It is for adults.
Okay.
It is not for the child. Therapy, na? So we adults can only do that for children, right? Any adult can enroll.
Okay. So I think Arpita's number is in the group, and Arpita, if anybody has any queries, they can directly interact with you.
Sure.
And any questions they have on how to go forward, or if they need to know details.
Ma'am, I have one more question. A request.
Okay.
Can you speak louder? We can't hear you.
Yeah,
Hey,
ma'am. Actually, I joined little late. I missed on this ABT thing. If you could share the details of ABT after the session finishes, would be really great.
Yeah, I will. There's an institute here where they do. I will share their number and the email address with you. You just have to,
Great. Okay. Arpita, can I request you to share it on the Mitra for Life group, the main group?
Yes, I will. Surely.
Sandhya ma'am, I think we have another 10
Yeah, tell me.
minutes. We have another 10 minutes, and Siddharth, I
Yeah.
can see that he's waiting to sing. And so for everyone else, Arpita, you didn't cover the singing
Yeah.
part of Siddharth. He's so if you could
That
just
is natural. I didn't teach him. It's God gifted.
yeah, it's a God's gift. He sings so well, and he just
Yeah, let's
transports to
please
another
hear
world.
him. Yeah.
He'll sing on karaoke. He's saying he'll just put him
Yeah.
on.
All of us would love to hear him singing.
Yeah.
Sure.
Arpita, if you could just turn the camera towards him, so
Yeah,
everybody can
he'll
look
come.
at.
I'll move. Let him come.
Okay, all right.
जिंदगी की यही रीत है, हार के बाद ही जीत है। जिंदगी की यही रीत है, हार के बाद ही जीत है। थोड़े आंसू है, थोड़ी हंसी, आज गम है तो कल है खुशी। जिंदगी की यही रीत है, हार के बाद ही जीत है। थोड़े आंसू है, थोड़ी हंसी, आज गम है तो कल है खुशी। जिंदगी की यही रीत है, हार के बाद ही जीत है। जिंदगी रात भी है, सवेरा भी है, जिंदगी जिंदगी रात भी है, सवेरा भी है, जिंदगी जिंदगी है सफर और बसेरा भी है, जिंदगी जिंदगी है सफर और बसेरा भी है, जिंदगी एक पल दर्द का घाव है, दूसरा सुख भरी छाव है, हर नया पल नया गीत है, जिंदगी की यही रीत है, जिंदगी की यही रीत है, जिंदगी की यही रीत है। गम का बादल जो चाहे तो हम मुस्कुराते रहे, गम का बादल जो चाहे तो हम मुस्कुराते रहे, अपनी आंखों में आशाओं के दीप जलाते रहे, आज बिगड़े तो कल फिर बने, आज रूठे तो कल फिर माने, वक्त भी जैसे एक मीत है, जिंदगी की यही रीत है, जिंदगी की यही रीत है, हार के बाद ही जीत है, थोड़े आंसू है थोड़ी हंसी, आज गम है तो कल है खुशी, जिंदगी की यही रीत है, हार के बाद ही जीत है, जिंदगी की यही रीत है, हार के बाद ही जीत है।
Wow, thank you so much, Siddharth. How does everyone feel?
Oh, it's really motivating. Really, the song also selected.
Siddharth, that was excellent.
Thank you, Sandhya ma'am.
क्या गाया सिद्धार्थ?
Okay. Actually, yeah, this is not the first
That was
time
such a wonderful rendition. So nice, Siddharth.
Sandhya ma'am, thank you. You all enjoy this. Sit back and enjoy my song.
Absolutely.
Yes,
absolutely.
yes, of course. As always.
Always.
Actually, Arpita, I have, I had one question in mind. We still have time.
Okay.
So one is, see, we have a lot of parents repeatedly, come to us. I mean, even when we have resource people on our parent forum calls, one question that keeps coming back is how can a parent handle adolescence? How did you manage that? And could you just share a few, your thoughts and how you dealt with it, and how did you prepare him? I'm sure it will be very helpful.
Yeah, it's a very, very, very difficult and challenging thing. It's not easy, but then as we grow with them, understand the anger signs, the anxiety signs. We have to be very, very alert and keep looking at their body language, the way they are behaving. It's not very difficult if we really keep an eye on them. It's not easy, again, I'm saying, but then don't make a pattern of giving in to whatever they say. Yes, there will be a lot of resistance initially, but slowly they will come in terms that this can't be done. For him, it was not an easy concept for me to make him understand life is a change. Every day is a change. You cannot expect same thing every day. He wants sameness, as autism wants sameness. But I keep on training, and on his own, he will say if there is some change in some routine or something, he'll say life is a change, life is a change. So I started it very, very young because I was told by the special educators that time when he was, 8, 10 years old, that someday you give him food at 1 o'clock. Someday you give him food at 12:45. Someday you give it at 1:15. Like that, not only with food, with other things, keep making variations now and then. Don't let them stick to a routine. Because if you stick to a routine and that routine is not followed later, you had it. And keep on drilling into their head, life is a change, life is a change. And whatever food also you give, give little variation, but prepare them beforehand. Some children understand better by pictures. Some children understand better verbally. When he was younger, it was more with pictures. I used to give him picture cards, to make him understand something. Now it is like more of verbal and more of that behavior chart or the diary which I maintain. I prepare him that, things will change. It cannot be same. But still, after everything also, they will have aggression, they will have a lot of issues, but you have to keep on guard and keep alert and look at the changing body language and the way they are conducting themselves, the tone of their voice, you can make out. So for that, preparation starts very, very young. You have to drill into them that, that you will not be given whatever you ask for. Yes, you can earn it through a good work or something I have told you to do, but you cannot demand. It was very difficult for me till now I'm struggling with that, but I have reached a point where he kind of understands now that everything won't be granted. I tell him I'll think about it. So he understands what she means by thinks about it. It's not that I will say think about it and immediately I'll do it. And WhatsApp and all also like as teenage and all, gadgets and all. So it was very difficult for me to control. There was a time I could not control him. All the time used to be on WhatsApp and Facebook and all. Then somebody told me that you have to put this one chart for him and make him understand the timing and all. There was a huge resistance for 2 months, lot of aggression, lot of breaking, lot of tantrums. But after the 2 months, the result came. Now only Monday, Wednesday, Friday, for 1 hour, he will do WhatsApp. His timings are fixed, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Sunday, 4 days. It is like 7 to 8. Exactly Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Sunday, till 7 to 8 he will do and he'll give it back to me. And he has a normal basic phone. So it's not easy. You have to really, really, go through a lot to bring them to that stage.
Okay. Well, thank you, Arpita. Sandhya ma'am, I think
Any other question from anybody? Any other parent wants to ask any question? I'm just asking them. There's so many messages about Siddharth singing.
Yeah, thank you so much.
So
Thank you
good, so nice, and messages are so nice, so nice. I mean, he deserves it definitely. So Jenny, shall we wrap up, or is there any other question? Any other?
I don't see any other questions in the chat. Parents feel free
Hello,
to.
Sujani?
Sorry. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Can everybody hear you? Arpita, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay, all right. Sandhya ma'am, can you hear me? I think maybe on your side.
we all
can hear you. We can hear you.
Okay, all right.
Yes,
I
yes,
don't-
I can hear you.
Okay.
We can hear you. Yeah.
Okay, I think no, I don't see any more questions coming in. But if any parent has any questions, you can feel free to just unmute and ask the question. Otherwise, I think we are good. We are good to wrap up. I think Archana has a question.
Okay.
Arpita?
Hello, ma'am.
Okay. Okay.
I allow my son to watch videos. He's 22 years old. He likes to watch train videos. And
Okay.
1 hour, 2 hour he watches. I allow him to watch YouTube videos.
Same video, same video, same
No,
thing.
no, no, different. He only chooses, he only types, and he only search and he watches different videos.
Okay. So,
Train videos. All express train, train, or toy train.
okay. So, what is like?
Also he watches recipes. Also he drawing videos. Also he watches on the
Ask him
mobile.
to draw. Next step, you go. You ask him to draw. If he can write, ask him to write the different
So
train.
every day
Yeah.
he's drawing, paint, helping in cooking. Then also he gets time to watch videos.
Good. I mean, 1 hour, 2 hours. It's okay. Na? In a COVID time when we can't go out, that is okay. Not
He
more.
do it.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, so one important thing is, people can approach Arpita ma'am as a mother who is a confident mother, I would say, who has raised Siddharth to a young adult, with instilling so much of confidence. That is on one side. The other side is she herself is a special educator. So, I'm sure she has dealt